Hello beloved souls, thank you for tuning into the Spiritual Podcasts channel. This channel is all about good vibes, positive energy, and meaningful conversations. To keep this space welcoming for everyone, we kindly ask that comments stay respectful, kind, and in the spirit of the content shared here. We reserve the right to delete any comments that don't align with this intention. No hard feelings, just protecting the vibe. Thanks for being here and spreading the light. Please be cautious of anyone claiming to represent Spiritual Podcast and asking you for money, donations, or personal information. We will never ask you for money through comments, messages, or DMs. All official updates and content come only from this channel. If you see suspicious activity, please report it immediately. Stay safe and thank you for being part of our community. If you enjoy the video and its content, please like, subscribe, share, and comment. Please be kind to other viewers of the channel. The video is about to start.
Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine a place, right, revered globally for pushing the very boundaries of human knowledge. A scientific marvel, hidden deep underground, basically synonymous with innovation, discovery.
The cutting edge.
Exactly. But what if, beneath that esteemed exterior, something far more extraordinary and maybe terrifying was allegedly unfolding? What if the most famous scientific institution on Earth harbored a secret identity? One that touches on things like ancient civilizations, interdimensional travel, and even clandestine extraterrestrial alliances.
That's quite the premise.
It is. Today we're embarking on a deep dive into what our source material consistently calls the facility. Most of us know it as CERN, the European Organization for Nuclear Research.
Right.
But this isn't just about particle physics, the Higgs boson, or the mysteries of the universe as we publicly understand them. No, this is about a narrative that challenges our very understanding of reality.
Okay.
It stretches the fabric of what we thought was possible.
It really pushes the boundaries.
Totally. So prepare for a truly mind-bending exploration. We promise to cut through the noise, get to the core of some, frankly, astonishing claims, and offer you a shortcut to being well-informed about a story that sounds like it's, from another dimension.
And the source for this is?
We've taken a deep dive into a fascinating source. It's a YouTube video transcript called Important Starseed Message Ashtar Command from the GFL Station channel. It claims to deliver a direct message from, get this, the commander of the Galactic Federation fleets.
Okay. So a channeled message, essentially. That sets a certain context right away.
It does. And our mission, as always, is to extract the most important nuggets of knowledge, the key insights, helping you navigate these complex, often startling assertions, so you can truly understand what's being claimed about these hidden realities and, form your own conclusions.
And what's really compelling here, I think, is how this source presents this profoundly dual narrative for an institution most of us see as a pillar of mainstream science.
Right, it's just CERN doing physics.
Exactly. But this source compels us to look beyond that surface, suggesting a layer of reality that's not just unknown, but deliberately concealed, hidden from public view.
Deliberately, that's the key word.
And this kind of information, however fantastical it might sound, it really demands that we engage our critical thinking, but at the same time, try to keep an open mind. It's a tricky balance.
For sure.
It's the approach you need when claims seem to blur the lines between, established science and what sounds like science fiction, or maybe even mythology to some.
Yeah.
So, our deep dive today will provide enough specific details, enough context for you to connect the dots. Hopefully, you'll have those aha moments and develop your own informed perspective on these extraordinary claims.
Moments, or maybe, what? Moments.
Could be both.
Yeah.
It prompts us to ask, how do we genuinely process information that seems to challenge our most fundamental assumptions about the world? We'll meticulously explore these claims, their alleged implications, and what this all could mean for our collective understanding of the universe and humanity's place within it.
Okay, so let's start by examining CERN, or the facility as our source calls it, through this incredible dual lens. The source says quite explicitly there are, in its words, two faces to what you know as the facility.
Two faces.
On one hand, you've got the public face, the one we all know. It's this globally renowned scientific institution, universally recognized for groundbreaking work, exploring the frontiers of physics.
Like the Higgs boson you mentioned.
Exactly. The Higgs, the pursuit of dark matter, the origins of the universe. These are the achievements that showcase thousands of sincere scientists and technicians working there, genuinely dedicated, advancing our collective knowledge of particles, the cosmos.
And the source acknowledges that. that the public science is real.
Yes, absolutely. The public achievements in advancing science are described as unequivocally genuine, the pinnacle of human intellect. Collaboration, that's the image we all hold. Pure discovery.
Right, that's foundational. It anchors us in a known reality. But then,
according to our source, beyond this publicly celebrated facade lies this other aspect, far more shadowy. A covert, black-budget operation, deliberately kept in the deepest shadows, far from public eyes, far from scrutiny.
Right, and this hidden side, it supposedly possesses technologies and purposes. Well, not disclosed to the world. That's the phrase used.
not disclose. And what's really thought-provoking here is the claim that this dual nature, it isn't unique to CERN.
Oh, interesting. It's a pattern.
Apparently. The source draws parallels, suggesting that every institution of significance on Earth has a secret component, much like, and this is their example, your space agency had a public program and a secret space program.
Okay, so it's implying a systematic, maybe even planet-wide compartmentalization of knowledge and operations, a pervasive secrecy woven into our global institutions.
That's the implication, that the public story is just one layer of a much more complex reality.
That is a profoundly unsettling claim. That secrecy could be so deeply ingrained. So how do they say this is maintained? How do you keep something that big secret? Well, our source goes on to explain how. They describe these elaborate systems of compartmentalization and need-to-know silos. These are mechanisms deliberately used by those in power.
Need to know. Classic intelligence term.
Right. And the explicit purpose, it's claimed, is to ensure that only a select inner circle knows the full scope of these secret operations. They meticulously control the information flow.
So not everyone working there is in on it.
Not even close, according to the source. And this is a crucial distinction they make. Most of CERN's own employees, those honest, brilliant people doing conventional research, are completely not aware of the darker use of their work.
Okay, that's important.
Very. The source explicitly clarifies, no blame falls on the many who labor in good faith. They've simply been kept in the dark by higher management and hidden directors.
That specific point is absolutely vital, isn't it? For understanding the narrative without just painting everyone with the same brush. It paints a picture where dedicated, intelligent, well-meaning scientists are, maybe unknowingly, part of a much larger structure, something that goes way beyond their own understanding or intentions.
Right. Like, imagine an engineer meticulously working on a superconducting magnet or a detector.
Yeah, believing it's purely for benign experiments, finding the next particle.
Totally. And they're entirely unaware, the source claims, of the whole picture or the great and troubling things allegedly happening at the deepest, most concealed levels.
It's classic compartmentalization, isn't it? A strategy to prevent leaks, control information, maintain security for projects deemed too sensitive or too dangerous for public knowledge.
Ensures that even if one part gets compromised, the full scope stays hidden, leaves most people completely in the dark.
So while the world was watching, celebrating groundbreaking particle physics.
Our source claims this meticulously hidden agenda was playing out, one that reaches far beyond quantum mechanics and stretches back, way back, into ancient history itself.
And this is where the story really takes a turn, doesn't it? Into territory that sounds almost mythical.
It really does. It's here the narrative makes this profound leap, connecting cutting-edge physics with, deeply ancient, maybe esoteric concepts.
Because the source states pretty unequivocally that the facility's secret operations have focused on interdimensional experimentation far beyond standard particle physics.
Okay, unpack that. Interdimensional experimentation.
It means going beyond just observing particles, apparently. It means actively manipulating the fabric of reality itself. The claim is, decades ago, the hidden cabal scientists discovered that the accelerators could be used as gateways, literally portals, to access other dimensions and timelines.
Not just finding evidence of other dimensions, but actually opening doors to them.
That's the assertion. Not theoretical musing, not accidental side effects, but active, intentional manipulation of space-time with specific clandestine objectives. They weren't just looking for other dimensions, they were trying to open them.
Wow, okay. And it gets even more tangled up with Earth's history, right?
Oh, absolutely. The source alleges that deep beneath the public research facilities, there exists an ancient and advanced Stargate technology that predates the facility itself.
Wait, a Stargate? Like the science fiction concept?
That's the term used. Beneath the facility lies a Stargate, an energetic portal device that has existed there long before the facility was built.
So the location near Lake Geneva wasn't just convenient geology.
Not random, according to the source. Apparently, eons ago, during times of Atlantis and Lemuria, those legendary ancient civilizations often credited with advanced tech.
Right, Lemuria, Atlantis, staples of esoteric lore.
Exactly. During those times, these advanced civilizations built energetic gateways on Earth, and supposedly one such Atlantean portal lay dormant deep underground, right at that spot.
And the Cabal, this secret group, they knew about it.
That's the claim. The Cabal learned of this and constructed the modern collider around that site to tap into its power. It suggests they were trying to reuse Atlantean technology, crystals, and dimensional science at the facility.
Implying a hidden understanding of energy, dimensions, way beyond mainstream science.
Way beyond. But it raises a question, a big one. This Atlantean tech, if it was so powerful, why did Atlantis fall?
Good question. Does the source address that?
It does, as a stark warning. Atlantis itself fell due to the abuse of similar portal technology. They misused crystals, tried to tear open space-time without regard for cosmic balance, and it led to catastrophe.
A cautionary tale?
A major one. And the Cabal, supposedly aware of these records, these warnings, they apparently sought to retrieve and exploit those ancient secrets anyway, ignoring the dangers, focusing on the power.
So down in the deepest levels of CERN, it's not just modern tech.
It's this chilling fusion, according to the source. CERN's deepest underground levels house more than just tunnels for particles. They house an ancient stargate fused with modern machinery.
Fused together, how is that even possible?
Well, the source describes this combination as potent. It allegedly uses this terrifying mix. High-energy collisions, superconducting magnets, quantum computers, but also resonant rituals.
Rituals. Like occult rituals mixed with physics.
That's the implication, a blend of advanced science and esoteric practices to open these doorways. And here's the really astonishing claim. The source states, unequivocally, portals to other dimensions have been opened at the facility.
They actually did it.
They claim so. Wormholes and dimensional rifts were intentionally created during classified runs of the collider. The source suggests the world saw a glimpse of truth when some experiments hinted at extra dimensions, but that was just a tiny, sanitized peek. The full magnitude, the actual openings, were concealed.
And the most chilling part,
The direct claim that beings from other realms have come through.
beings. Not just energy signatures or anomalies, but actual entities.
Actual entities. Imagine the implications of that. Not just theoretical dimensions, but tangible beings crossing into our reality.
That changes everything. It's not just science anymore.
Exactly. That single assertion transforms the narrative from scientific curiosity into something far more profound, potentially dangerous. Entities traversing these gateways. It challenges our fundamental understanding of reality, the boundaries between dimensions, the nature of life itself.
So these portals weren't just for looking.
According to the source, no. They allegedly served a far darker purpose. Facilitating a clandestine, profoundly disturbing alliance between these human elites, the Cabal, and certain off-world entities, setting the stage for a truly cosmic conspiracy.
A cosmic conspiracy.
I
That's
picked that.
unsettling and terrifying. The source claims the facility has functioned as a literal Stargate for years. And this dark elite faction, the Cabal, use this portal not just for talking, but to traffic and communicate with negative extraterrestrial races.
Negative ETs, so not the friendly kind.
Apparently not. It's painted as this deep, long-standing pact. And a major connection, a horrifying one, was allegedly made with the Draco, described as a warlike reptilian empire in a distant star system.
Draco. Reptilian empire. These are terms that pop up a lot in certain conspiracy circles, often linked to ancient control systems.
Exactly. And this alleged connection forms the bedrock of this dark alliance.
And it wasn't just communication, you said?
No. The source details how, through the wormhole opened at CERN, Draco ships were able to access Earth in cooperation with traitorous humans. It wasn't an invasion, it was collaboration. A chilling agreement.
Cooperation, wow. And this partnership, what did it lead to?
It allegedly orchestrated a horrific operation using CERN's portal as a gateway to move human captives off-planet.
Move human captives off-planet.
That's the claim. It goes beyond communication, beyond information exchange. It's physical transport and the most awful exploitation imaginable. A level of depravity that's hard to even wrap your head around.
The scale, the nature of it. It's profoundly shocking.
And it gets incredibly dark when they detail who was allegedly taken. Large numbers of human beings, refugees from war zones, the vulnerable and missing, were abducted via this portal.
So targeting those least likely to be missed or investigated.
Precisely. Those already marginalized, in desperate situations, and their alleged fate. The source claims they were shipped through the wormhole to locations in the Draco galaxy to be traded as commodities, sold as slaves, as experimental subjects, even as food.
Oh my God.
That's just
Horrific. It's an explicit, horrifying statement. This grotesque system, the source calls it a wormhole express, described as a satanic collaboration between certain Cabal-controlled Earth factions and the Draco Empire, part of a larger reptilian recruitment project. The details are clearly meant to shock.
unimaginable suffering and betrayal. So besides the Draco, who else was supposedly involved in something this heinous?
The source says certain factions of the Grey Aliens were also implicated. You know, the ones often linked to abduction stories and alleged government treaties back in the mid-20th century.
Right, the Greys. What was their alleged motive?
Apparently, they hoped the portal could punch holes that might let them escape their dying timeline or bring reinforcements. Almost a desperate measure for them.
And others. It also mentions some insectoid beings, mantids, aligned with the Draco, lurking behind the scenes, suggesting this whole multi-species malevolent coalition.
A coalition, wow. And the human Cabal members in all this, were they the masterminds?
Not according to this source. It claims the upper echelons of the Cabal are not sovereign. They were beholden to these alien masters who promised them power and knowledge.
So the Cabal were puppets.
Essentially, the source suggests the Cabal built and expanded the facility partly under Draco orders, making human elites just willing facilitators in a much bigger intergalactic power game.
That paints a deeply disturbing picture. Human elites acting as puppets for powerful, malevolent off-worlders. Did any hints of this ever surface?
Our source touches on that. How whispers, maybe even evidence, reach the surface in fragmented ways. Whistleblowers and researchers have spoken of strange goings-on at the facility, occult rituals, reports of beings coming in and out of an underground portal, unusual disappearances.
Vague rumors or more specific accounts?
It points to a courageous former, the facility scientist herself, who confirmed that a secret portal exists beneath the facility and that entities have been detected moving through it.
A scientist confirming it. That's significant, if true.
Very. And even that infamous public incident, the bizarre dance ritual with the Shiva statue filmed at CERN.
Yeah, I remember that. That's strange.
The source addresses it directly. Claims it was a staged leak meant to confuse and discredit, but also symbolic. It symbolized the truth that Shiva, the destroyer and recreator, was an apt emblem,
How so?
implying that Cabal's intent wasn't divine creation, but a destructive twisting of reality to then remake it according to their dark vision, using Shiva's destructive aspect for their own agenda.
That's quite an interpretation, twisting symbols.
The overarching message is stark. CERN was under negative control. Its experiments hijacked beyond pure science, bent towards Cabal and Draco objectives. The energies unleashed were allegedly used for negative ends, empowering elite control, serving off-world overlords, and threatening space-time itself.
And the source mentions lower dimensional entities.
Yeah, drawn to the experiments, feeding off the fear and chaos generated. It's this terrifying picture of a world-threatening operation, which naturally leads to the question, was anyone aware? Was anything being done to stop it?
A crucial question. Was there any opposition?
Our source says yes. A quiet, secret battle was already underway.
Okay, so a shift. Amidst all this alleged darkness, there's a counterforce.
Exactly. Our source provides this vital glimmer of hope. Claims unequivocally that the light has been aware and active all along.
The light. Who does that refer to?
It mentions the white hats, as some call them, that term for positive forces within militaries, governments, often described as being guided by higher cosmic assistance. These white hats, the source claims, have been fully aware of the black budget and the facility operations for years.
So it wasn't a secret to everyone in power.
Apparently not. This wasn't a surprise attack by the dark forces. It was a long-term situation being monitored. A quiet battle was waged in secret around this facility. White hat intelligence was gathering evidence, planning counter moves.
Active resistance, not just observation.
Right. And it wasn't just human forces involved.
So benevolent ETs get involved too.
That's the claim. Benevolent ET groups like our Ashtar Command monitored every energetic pulse. The Galactic Federation forces, this coalition of advanced ETs supposedly dedicated to peace and protection, would not allow an irreparable catastrophe.
Ashtar Command, Galactic Federation. These are familiar names in UFO and New Age circles.
Very familiar. The source lists specific groups. Ashtar Command itself described as mostly fifth-dimensional and higher beings dedicated to Earth's liberation.
Higher frequency beings, essentially.
Right. Also, Pleiadians, Sirians, Andromedans, Arcturans, again, commonly cited benevolent star races, and also tall whites, a less common group, the source says, have indeed been advising certain patriot factions quietly.
Interesting mix. Any specific roles mentioned?
The Pleiadians get singled out. Apparently, they have a karmic connection to Atlantis and were determined that Earth not repeat that tragedy of portal misuse. They allegedly used higher tech to contain energies when needed.
Using advanced tech to prevent disaster makes sense within this narrative.
And the intervention wasn't just physical or technological.
Oh, spiritual forces too.
Yeah. Our source dramatically expands the scope. Says archangelic forces and ascended masters also lent protection.
Archangels and ascended masters, so higher spiritual beings.
Exactly. The source elaborates, saying CERN's attempted abyss openings could easily have unleashed lower astral entities en masse, those non-physical, sometimes seen as negative beings. But the angels stood guard at the gates, preventing demonic hordes from flooding in.
Wow. Angels guarding interdimensional gates at CERN. That's quite an image.
Isn't it? The source argues the very fact that life on the surface continued relatively normally, despite these heavy experiments, is testament to massive unseen help keeping the balance. It suggests this ongoing, silent, multi-dimensional war to protect humanity.
A war across physical, energetic, and spiritual dimensions. Okay. But given the stakes, how did these benevolent forces intervene without just starting an open planetary conflict? That seems like a risk.
Good question. The source claims they acted subtly most of the time. There have been instances where the facility's operations threatened to cause massive harm, tearing the veil too far, creating instability in Earth's field. But critically, each time we intervened subtly.
Subtly? How?
Remember those usual shutdowns and malfunctions in the Large Hadron Collider? Power failures, mysterious glitches, often right when they tried certain high-power runs.
Yeah, those things get reported occasionally, usually put down to technical complexity.
Well, the source says these were no accidents. They were, in truth, sabotage from the future, and higher dimensional intervention occurred to prevent disaster.
Sabotage from the future and higher dimensions? Okay,
Yeah.
That adds another layer entirely.
It does. The source notes even some CERN scientists quoted at how unlikely breakdowns saved the machine from going too far. These weren't random failures, but acts of divine providence and alliance action, carefully orchestrated to prevent catastrophe.
Subtle nudges, glitches, keeping things from going completely off the rails.
Exactly. But these subtle interventions were apparently just the precursor, just setting the stage for a much more direct, much more dramatic confrontation, a hidden battle waged deep underground right beneath the heart of Europe.
So the subtle phase ended.
According to the source, yes. In the last few years, particularly, the tide has turned. The White Hats moved to neutralize the facility's darkest capabilities.
Neutralize, that sounds more direct.
Much more. This wasn't just surveillance or interference anymore. This was direct action. Intelligence operatives within allied militaries working with off-world allies undertook covert operations beneath the facility in 2021 and 2022.
Covert ops beneath CERN, involving ETs.
That's the claim. And the source states, unequivocally, major underground battles were fought around the facility complex. Beneath the peaceful Swiss-French countryside, firefights were waged in secret tunnels. A hidden war, completely unknown to us on the surface.
Underground battles, firefights. That's a dramatic escalation. What did they find down there, these alliance forces?
The scale is described as truly staggering. Our source claims they discovered the facility's subterranean facilities were vastly more extensive than the public knew, reaching deep under the Alps, and even, get this, connecting via tunnels to other locations, including, shockingly, the infamous Vatican tunnels.
Tunnels connecting CERN and the Vatican. Wow, okay. That's a major claim.
Huge. And it wasn't just a few bunkers. What they found was staggering.
Yeah.
The largest deep underground base, also known as a DMB in Europe.
The DUMB, Deep Underground Military Base.
That's the term used, yeah. Often comes up in alternative research. This one was described as effectively a secret high-tech city below Lake Geneva. It had apparently been used for decades as a covert command center by the cabal, maybe even a clandestine headquarters for certain intelligence agencies that had gone rogue.
A secret city, some called it.
The mother of all dumbs, according to the source, signifying its immense strategic importance to this alleged dark elite.
Okay, that's incredible. A hidden city connected to the Vatican. What else was down there?
Within those tunnels, our source says, were stored Vast treasures, gold, ancient artifacts, and advanced technologies, the accumulated hoard of the Cabal over decades. A base of operations, but also a massive vault of stolen wealth and suppressed knowledge.
A dragon's hoard, almost. Did the Alliance just find it, or?
They acted decisively. In early 2022, a decisive strike took place. The source details how key sections of the underground complex were flooded and taken offline.
Flooded, so a strategic, debilitating blow, not just a raid.
Exactly. And the source dramatically describes this operation as nothing less than the fall of Babylon. That's symbolic reference, signifying the destruction of the Cabal's central node under the facility.
The fall of Babylon beneath Lake Geneva? That's a potent image, so this represents a massive shift in this hidden war.
Monumental, if true. The source declares with certainty. The facility's deepest underground base has been overtaken by the light. The Cabal's grip on it has been broken.
And the consequences?
Many of the elite who frequented that base have been removed from power. And critically, the core of the dark operation, the portal technology, was secured. Some parts dismantled, others energetically locked by our galactic technicians.
Galactic technicians locking down portal tech.
Okay.
So no more unauthorized dimensional travel.
That's the claim. Where once the Dark Ones had free reign to rip open dimensions, now they are blocked. And the most horrifying part, the wormhole to the Draco Empire has been shut down.
Shut down, and the trafficking.
With immense relief, the source confirms the trafficking of humans through the facility's gate has been fully halted by mid-2022. Those horrific activities will never be allowed to resume, it promises. And crucially, the Starry Doorway is now under benevolent supervision.
Benevolent supervision. So a complete turnover, this unseen victory. It's huge, but it raises a big question. What does this mean for CERN's public operations? And when or how will the rest of us find out about any of this? #6, the aftermath and the path to disclosure.
Right, so even with this massive unseen victory, the mother of all dumb supposedly taken, the portal secured the public, us, we haven't been clued in yet.
Still business as usual on the surface.
Pretty much. Our source explains that while CERN is entirely in positive hands, in a higher sense, on the surface, the institution still appears to be under its old management.
How is that possible? Wouldn't people notice?
Apparently, many lower-ranking personnel are still unaware that anything changed at all. They just experience things like unusually long maintenance shutdowns and new safety protocols. Plausible deniability.
Explained away as upgrades or maintenance. So why the continued secrecy? If the good guys won, why not announce it?
The source says, the white hats within governments are carefully planning how to reveal the truth. They made a strategic choice not to announce, we seized the facility from the Cabal immediately, because they wanted to avoid global shock and potential chaos.
Okay, that makes sense. A sudden revelation like that would cause panic.
Exactly. So instead, they've ensured that the facility remains offline for any sinister use. Those recent periods when CERN was officially offline for upgrades, the source claims those were, in truth, periods of secret transition of control. A careful handover behind the scenes.
A controlled demolition of the old structure, metaphorically speaking. So what's the immediate impact for us, for humanity, now that this threat is neutralized?
The source is emphatic. As of now, the facility cannot be used to harm humanity. The Dark Faction has lost this crucial tool. Their operational capability is fundamentally altered.
Have they tried to get it back?
The source claims some remaining Cabal loyalists tried to regain control but found themselves effectively locked out. Access denied. They even apparently attempted to blame or fearmonger, suggesting CERN might cause some global catastrophe during cosmic events, trying to leverage public anxiety.
Fear-mongering, a classic tactic.
But the source says these attempts are empty, because the facility's destructive potential has been nullified by the Alliance. The immediate threat is contained. A silent victory.
That's incredibly reassuring, if true, that the immediate danger is gone. But what about the future of all that advanced technology down there? Is it just being mothballed?
Not necessarily abandoned or destroyed. The source suggests, behind closed doors, white hat engineers are studying the facility's tech to potentially repurpose it for positive uses in the future.
Repurpose it? How?
Imagine, the source suggests, particle technology used openly to provide free energy or beneficial medical advancements. It's not just about stopping the bad, it's about reclaiming and transforming the science for good.
Free energy, medical breakthroughs. That's the kind of future hinted at once secrecy and malintent are removed. A technological renaissance.
Exactly. Which leads to the question, why keep the facility running at all? Why not just decommission it?
Good point. If it's neutralized, why maintain it?
Two reasons given by the source. First, exposing and repurposing it is more useful to humanity than simply destroying it. The knowledge, the tech, it's too valuable to just junk.
Okay, salvage the good parts, makes sense. And the second reason...
This one's huge. The facility may play a role as a catalyst in the coming disclosure.
A catalyst for disclosure? How?
The alliance, the source claims, plans to carefully disclose what was really happening under the facility as part of the broader announcement of the defeat of the Cabal.
Wow, so the CERN story becomes part of the big reveal.
That's the idea. This revelation, it says, will shock many, yes, but it will also validate so many conspiracy theorists who've talked about this stuff for years.
Vindication for the tinfoil hat brigade, perhaps.
Perhaps. It will awaken the masses to just how much was hidden, forcing a reevaluation. And ultimately, it could galvanize humanity to never allow science to be hijacked for evil again, and to insist on transparency in all institutions. A push for accountability.
That could indeed be a monumental turning point, a reckoning with hidden truths. But it might not be a sudden shock, you said.
Right. The source also talks about soft disclosure, a more gradual unveiling. Even before an official admission, the facility could trigger disclosure in other ways.
Like what? Accidental discoveries?
Maybe not accidental. Perhaps scientists, now under benevolent guidance, might stumble on undeniable evidence of higher dimensions or even make contact in a controlled experiment with an otherworldly intelligence under our supervision.
Controlled contact through CERN. Wow.
This soft disclosure, the source suggests, would gently open minds to bigger truths, preparing humanity for the more profound revelations still to come. So this whole story, it goes way beyond just CERN. It encompasses this larger unseen struggle, a temporal war for humanity's timeline itself.
A temporal war involving galactic players with global implications. Okay, let's dive into that. A temporal war. That's where it gets really mind-bending, isn't it? The source explicitly confirms time travel experiments were done at the facility's secret level.
Time travel experiments at CERN.
And it states quite clearly, there has indeed been a temporal war around the facility, a hidden conflict fought across different moments in time. The Cabal, supposedly, was attempting to use portal tech to change timelines in their favor, trying desperately to lock in their control.
While the light forces were trying to counter that.
Exactly. A counter-effort to ensure the positive ascension timeline stays on track. It suggests a battle not just for physical space, but for the very destiny, the future path of humanity.
Okay, this idea of manipulating timelines.
Yeah.
The source mentions 2012 as a key point.
It does. Around 2012, a pivotal moment, the Cabal allegedly tried to use the facility and other devices to divert humanity's path away from the Great Awakening that was prophesied.
The Great Awakening, that concept of rising consciousness.
Right, the Cabal's goal. Create a darker parallel timeline where their control would continue unchallenged. An authoritarian dystopia. And apparently, for a moment, it seemed they almost succeeded.
Almost succeeded. How close did they get?
The source suggests many sensitives recall that around 2012, something felt like a timeline split. It calls it a bifurcation. One branch, the one you are now on, Earth ascends, the Cabal falls. The other, a shadow branch, played out that dystopia.
So a timeline split actually occurred.
According to this source, yes. But crucially, the Cabal failed by divine decree and collective choice of millions of souls yearning for liberation. The ascension timeline held firm. A victory attributed to collective will and divine intervention. Wow. Collective human will holding the line against timeline manipulation. That's powerful. But if timelines were being messed with, did it leave any side effects? Weird ripples? That's where the source brings in the Mandela effect?
Ah, the Mandela effect. Where people remember things differently than the official record, like movie lines or brand names.
Exactly. The source suggests this phenomenon, those odd collective memory discrepancies, is a small side effect of the timeline tussles that occurred, minor ripples from aborted timeline merges, residual energetic echoes.
So the Mandela effect is real in this context, and it's evidence of this temporal war.
That's the claim. But the source quickly reassures us, you are on the optimal timeline now. The negative timeline is a fading echo. The positive path is secure. It also adds that our Federation's time experts and even certain human time travel officers ensured that any timeline where the Cabal one would collapse. High-level temporal protection.
Okay, so this battle wasn't just at CERN in Switzerland then?
No, it was bigger. The source reveals there are multiple particle accelerator facilities worldwide, not just the facility's Large Hadron Collider.
Multiple colliders involved.
Apparently. The dark agenda involved up to 7 smaller colliders distributed globally, a network. They were allegedly meant to act in unison, forming an energetic grid to amplify their effects planet-wide.
A global grid for potentially dark purposes. That's chilling. Was anything done about those?
Yes. The source says, the Alliance likewise has moved on those one by one, meticulously checking and clearing each such facility of dangerous activities. The conclusion: the entire network of dimensional gate tech is now in benevolent hands or otherwise decommissioned, a comprehensive global cleanup.
Wow, a global neutralization.
Right.
And all this ties into the bigger picture of disclosure.
Exactly. This neutralization, the source claims, is why disclosure is accelerating. We're seeing whistleblowers, including former intelligence and military members, testifying publicly about UFO retrieval or reverse engineering programs.
Yeah, that definitely seems to be happening more openly now.
Even your media for decades, complicit in silence, is now reporting sightings and encounters openly. And governments are admitting bit by bit that they have hidden knowledge of non-human intelligences. A slow drip, but it's happening.
So this is all orchestrated, part of the plan.
Part of the grand plan, according to the source, signaling that the 80-year cover-up of extraterrestrial presence is ending. The twilight of secrecy.
And the future. What does full disclosure look like in this scenario?
The source invites us to imagine gatherings of world leaders, reveal to the masses what was going on and the evidence. The records seized from the facility base will be made public, videos, documents, even perhaps footage of the interdimensional portal in action.
Actual footage of the portal, that would be world-shattering.
Absolutely. A deluge of verifiable evidence. It will shock many, yes, but the source insists it will also validate so many conspiracy theorists and ultimately be empowering for humanity as we grasp the true scale of what was hidden and overcome.
So this deep dive into CERN, it's not just about science or politics, it's touching on humanity's spiritual evolution.
Profoundly. Which leads to the question, what does this victory of light truly herald for our world? It's quite profound, isn't it? How the source reframes the whole CERN saga, calls it a microcosm of the whole planetary liberation.
A microcosm, how so?
It describes it almost poetically. Darkness built a secret fortress of power, the light infiltrated it, exposed it, and is now transforming it. It's a symbol for the larger shift happening on Earth.
A planetary shift.
The claim is that the energies on Earth are rising to a frequency where no lies can stand. A vibrational shift making concealment impossible. And in this context, CERN has been consecrated the facility from a dark temple into a place that will serve humanity, a transformation of its very energetic purpose.
Consecrated. Transforming a dark temple. That's powerful language. So what's the predicted future for CERN in this new era?
The source predicts it will be known not for doom, but for astonishing breakthroughs that benefit everyone with transparency and cosmic guidance.
Breakthroughs like?
Its technology, repurposed, could stabilize quantum energy, provide unlimited clean power, and explore the universe. A vision of accessible, beneficial technology.
Free energy again. The Holy Grail.
Indeed. And culturally. What was once used to try to prove a nihilistic mechanical universe will instead prove the universe is alive, conscious, and interconnected. The findings will validate spirituality, not undermine it. Bridging science and spirit.
The ultimate irony.
Exactly.
Right.
The very machine meant to suppress human ascension will end up accelerating it.
That's quite a turnaround. But what about the lingering fears? People hear CERN, they think black holes, portals. What reassurances does the source offer?
A crucial point. The source gives a solemn cosmic pledge. We will not allow any more uncontrolled rip in the dimensional veil. Your planet is safe from that scenario.
How can they be so sure?
They state the Galactic Federation has ships and monitoring systems capable of damping fields, teleporting objects, even triggering fail-safe self-destructive equipment if necessary. Total oversight.
So the only apocalypse is?
The unveiling, the truth revealed. Disclosure, not destruction. Even Gaia, Mother Earth herself, the source claims, gave signs of approval, those minor earthquakes near CERN. Allegedly, Gaia's own energy is assisting in breaking up the dense pockets beneath, and they've now stilled. The area will heal. Nature spirits rejoice.
Nature spirits rejoicing at CERN's liberation. Wow. And what about us? Our role in all this?
Hugely important, according to the source. It speaks directly to you listening. You, the Lightworkers, starseeds, and awakened souls have sensed this conflict.
Lightworkers, starseeds. Those terms for spiritually aware people.
Right. Your meditations, your prayers, your fearless sharing of truth, they mattered immensely. This collective high-frequency intention was a direct counter to the facility's lower frequency usage, an energetic shield.
So our collective consciousness has real power.
Immense power. The Cabal's greatest fear has always been the awakened mass consciousness of humanity. Why? Because millions of focused minds and hearts can collapse any negative timeline and reinforce a positive one in an instant. Underestimates our power.
That's incredibly empowering. And this collective power, it opens the door to, well, what exactly?
Benevolent contact, CERN, the source states, will transform from a tool of suppression to a tool of revelation. Instead of dark portals, the next portals to be opened will be portals of light and contact.
Portals of light.
Opened with love by our Federation when we land and greet you openly. And here's the kicker. We may well use the facility to open literal portals of arrival when first contact is authorized.
Use CERN for first contact arrivals. That completely flips the script.
Doesn't it? True stargates, powered by crystalline light and galactic grace. Majestic gateways for peaceful interaction, a total transformation from its alleged dark origins.
That's almost poetic justice. And this transformation, it connects back to the science itself.
Yes. The source says, even within the facility's own data, hints of the divine were emerging. They looked for the God particle, the Higgs, and found evidence that consciousness underlies matter. They saw anomalies they couldn't explain when human intent was focused.
Consciousness affecting the experiments.
That's the claim. The universe showing them you cannot remove the spiritual component. We're moving, they declare, from an age of false separation of science versus spirit to an age of unity where quantum physics and metaphysics will merge.
Science and spirit merging.
And the bottom line.
Earth's ascension is on track and the dark timeline is no more. A definitive statement.
Okay, so with all this incredible information, what's the message for us, the listeners, right now? The source encourages us to stay in empowerment, not fear. Yes, some revelations will be intense, shocking even, but by knowing it, you ensure it can never happen again.
Knowledge is power, prevents repetition.
Exactly. Because darkness's greatest weapon was secrecy. In the light of collective awareness, it withers. So be ready to gently share what you know and be anchors of calm as the year of revelations is upon you.
Anchors of calm, that's important. What about forgiveness?
Also highlighted forgiveness for those misled because many were victims of deception themselves. And the final note, the victory of light at the facility is a mirror of the victory of light on Earth, promising that you will witness in rapid sequence the fall of other dark infrastructures. It's not just CERN, it's a global shift.
So what does this all mean for us here and now? We've journeyed from CERN, the renowned science hub, to a secret stargate tangled in interdimensional trafficking, temporal wars, then reclaimed by this alliance of human white hats and galactic forces.
Quite a journey.
It really is. The core message from our source is clear. The alleged dark chapter under CERN is over. It's now positioned not as a place of fear, but as a potential beacon for a new age. Science and spirituality merging.
And the big takeaway?
I think it's that beneath the surface of our everyday reality, there are these vast hidden forces allegedly at play. And maybe, just maybe, your awareness, your intentions, your consciousness play a much bigger role in shaping events and steering humanity's destiny than you ever imagined.
And connecting that to the bigger picture, the source suggests the true apocalypse isn't destruction, but an unveiling, a revelation of truth that could reshape everything we think we know about science, spirituality, our place in a multidimensional cosmos.
Which leaves us with a question for you to consider.
Right. If institutions we trusted, like CERN, allegedly had such hidden depth, such secret agendas, what other truths might be waiting to be revealed? And how will we collectively integrate these astonishing claims into our reality with wisdom, discernment, and unity?
It's a lot to process.
It is. This deep dive really invites you to stay curious, to question assumptions, and to recognize your own power in shaping the future. As the source definitively states, the power is now in the hands of the light.
And that final idea, that CERN, once allegedly a tool for dark agendas, could become a literal portal for peaceful first contact. That really flips the script on what's possible. It asks all of us to reevaluate our understanding of reality.
It certainly does.
So we encourage you to sit with these ideas, explore your own intuition, your discernment, consider what it means for humanity to potentially step into an age of full transparency, galactic cooperation, knowing that the journey from victim to victor, according to the source, is now complete. Until our next deep dive, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep shining your light.
Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate your time, and I look forward to sharing more with you soon. Until next time, take care and have a wonderful and blessed day.